Democratic strategist Nicole Brener-Schmitz and a Republican strategist Bobby Eberle to join us here. I mean, a lot of excitement, obviously, inside of that rally. It felt like it did months ago when we were covering the campaign. But Bobby, this is a speed by which we have not seen historically in a presidency. Are we going to be seeing more rapid fire action over the next 4 years? Do you predict that?
Oh, I think this is the preview, right? This is what we voted for, and this is what we're getting. But I got to admit, you know, and I'm sure Nicole has a perspective. I'm kind of surprised at the speed in which this was going. I mean, I got my county party together on Monday. We were watching the inauguration, and everyone is so excited. And then, you know, Monday evening he's signing orders, and Tuesday a flurry of orders. And showing the American people what the presidency can actually do. I think that's what's taken America by storm, is like, wow, he can do that, he can do this, he's delivering on these promises, and it is full speed ahead. I think he sees that he has this term, he doesn't have to run, he only has to govern, and he's got the foot down on the throttle, and he's not letting up.
And, you know, I have to speak about those executive orders and actions. I mean, an unprecedented number, hundreds of them. Nicole, do you expect legal challenges on most of them, on some of them? And obviously we're seeing one on the birthright citizenship fight. But do you think that will eclipse the amount of momentum and victory he's having right now?
I mean, I think we can absolutely expect a whole host of legal challenges to so many. The most important one being what you just mentioned, the birthright one. This is not simply an executive order, many of which we see, no matter what party comes in, that just revokes what a previous administration, if it was different political leadership than them, represented. But the birthright one is going down to our Constitution. It's not just a matter of what laws Congress has passed or what executive orders a previous president has signed. That goes to our Constitution. So that's going to be the one that is, I think, the most grounded in the legal system, and certainly is going to get so much attention because it really goes to the core of being an American and what this country is built on. I mean, you just can't argue this country is a country of immigrants, and that means different things in different stages. Some were dragged over on slave ships. Some were welcomed through the time in Ellis Island when we had monstrous numbers. Americans do seem to think we have an issue right now with immigration. I think the Democrats and the Republicans agree that we need to come together and have a conversation and figure out what is going on right now and what the legal path to asylum and immigration is. But I think what Democrats want is to not confuse nationalism with patriotism.
You know, I'm glad you brought up birthright citizenship and tying it to slavery, because that is why birthright citizenship was included in our Constitution. There are a lot of people interpreting this as completely different than what the founders would have wanted to see in our country, with people just being able to cross over, have a baby, and then be deemed citizens. Bobby, I know a federal judge has already blocked this birthright citizenship order by President Trump in one particular state. But do you think that more people are going to be surprised if he actually wins in this particular case?
Well, I think there's a process. I think Nicole's absolutely right. This is not something that you can just mandate through executive order. But here's the thing, is that is the trigger, right? You have to, if there's those that believe, as I do, that the founders did not intend that someone could plan a pregnancy, or you could have some people come over that might necessarily even like the country, but then come over, sneak in illegally, have a baby, and that baby is a citizen, and the parents aren't citizens or legal permanent residents or anything. That to me is nonsensical. But you have to get the ball rolling somewhere, and that is the executive order. That triggers the court cases, the judges' rulings, and ultimately it'll likely end up in the Supreme Court, where they either rule that there could be some kind of law, or the Constitution means they clarify, or the amendment process. It's going to lead to one of those two things. But it had to start somewhere, and I'm glad he's pushing this, because I know that there's great many of Americans, probably the majority, that doesn't think someone should just sneak in here, have a baby, and that is a citizen.
Well, and I was watching TikTok videos just, as you scroll, and just a couple of people just saying, citizenship should be earned, not something that's automatic because you're born here. And that's an interesting discussion.
Thanks so much for watching. Go to joinnn.com to find News Nation on your television provider. And don't forget to click the red subscribe button below to get more of News Nation's fact-driven, unbiased coverage.